Do you struggle with being organized? Well, you're in luck because today we are going to talk about three objects that help prevent clutter here on Get Organized with Jodi. Hi, I'm Jodi Granok. I'm a certified professional organizer with over 15 years in the field. And let me tell you something, there's two parts to being organized. There's getting organized and there's staying organized. But today we're going to focus on staying organized by preventing clutter. So, staying organized is often less about having more storage, and it's more about having the right kinds of storage in the right places. Because when clutter repeatedly piles up in a room, it's usually because everyday items don't have an easy landing spot. The goal of an organized home is not about being perfect, it's not about looking like Martha Stewart layout in a magazine. It's about reducing the friction so that tidying up becomes almost automatic. And no matter what size the room is, no matter what purpose the room is for, every room has three simple objects that can dramatically improve how organized a space can feel and function. So, what are these three objects? A catch-all tray or basket, a trash can, you probably guessed that one, and a donation bin. These three items can very quietly behind the scenes handle most of the daily clutter before it has the chance to spread. Sound good? Let's break these three things down. So the first one is a catch-all tray or basket. Every room needs a designated spot for the small items that naturally collect throughout the day, right? Because without having one, then the surfaces in that area become clutter magnets. So you've got keys on the counter, and you've got receipts on the table, and hair ties on your bathroom sink. You got chargers on the nightstand. You got random papers anywhere and everywhere. But having a shallow tray or a decorative bowl or an open basket or a small container, that's going to create a controlled landing zone for life's little in-between items, right? So clutter often spreads because objects don't have an obvious temporary home. And having a catch-all container can prevent visual chaos. It can keep important items easy to find, and it can stop small messes from taking over an entire room. So the key is containment, not having endless space to sprawl out with your clutter. And of course, when the tray or the basket becomes too full, that's a visual cue that it's time to reset or remove unnecessary items. Go put those things where they really go, or maybe it's time to say, I don't need these things anymore. So, where could you use this type of clutter preventer, right? So, in a kitchen, you might have a tray for the mail. You might have a basket for fruit. You might have a charging station. In your entryway, you might have a bowl to collect all the keys or a tray for people's sunglasses. In the bathroom, you might have a tray for some of your skincare products or perfume. In the bedroom, you might have a tray on your nightstand that can have all kinds of things like you see here in the picture. In a living room, you might have a basket to put your remote controls or to contain blankets or even magazines. But the simpler and more accessible the container is, the more likely everyone will use it. So that is object number one, is having some kind of catch-all tray or basket. So now let's talk about number two, the trash can. So look, many rooms either don't have a trash can or they have one that's inconveniently located. I know it sounds obvious, right? Like, well, of course, trash can, but you would be surprised how many people don't have enough trash cans in their house. And the issue is when you don't have an accessible trash can, the trash has nowhere to go. And so your clutter just quickly piles up, right? The junk mail stacks up. You can have tags from clothing or packaging once you've opened the box is still laying around. You've got used up Kleenexes, you've got empty water bottles, and that's not good. So, trash can. You have a well-placed trash can, it removes clutter immediately instead of allowing it to just sit around for later because the easier it is to throw something away, the less likely it is to become clutter. And trash cans also reduce your decision fatigue. So instead of setting it down and saying, I'll deal with this later, it's an instant decision. Hey, this is trash. And I put it there and I move on. And that one small habit is going to prevent your clutter from snowballing. So I know it may sound silly, it may sound obvious, but look around your house. Do you have trash cans in your bedroom? Do you have trash cans in your bathroom? Do you have one in your kitchen? But do you have one in the living room? Do you have one in all the areas where people tend to congregate and use things that would require the ability to also throw things away? Don't discount the the major deal of having enough trash cans. I support trash cans. Let's go to number three, which is a donation bin. One of the biggest reasons that houses get overcrowded and cluttered is because unwanted items stay in the house too long. A lot of times we know we don't need something anymore. I will go to clients' houses and they'll tell me, "Oh yeah, that's going to be donation." But without having a designated place for those items, they just kind of linger. They stay in the closet, they stay in the drawer, they stay in the corners of the room indefinitely. And that's why every house, and maybe in more than one place in your house, benefits from having a donation bin. Now, a donation bin can be a lot of things. It could be a basket, a tote bag, a lidded bin, a cardboard box, like here in this photo, or even a reusable shopping bag, in a closet to collect donations for clothing. But the goal is simply to have an easy way to say, this is unnecessary. I'm ready for it to be a donation, right? You don't have to wait for this massive decluttering session, right? You don't have to do this once a year and have this major undertaking. You can be gradually removing items in real time as you go, all the time, always having some kind of donation box or bin for all these situations that happen throughout the days and the weeks and the months, right? So when clothes no longer fit, if you've got a donation bag ready to go in the closet, you just drop it in the bag, right? If you have toys that your children have outgrown, put it in the donation bin. If you've got duplicate kitchen gadgets or a kitchen gadget you don't want anymore, drop it in your donation bin. If you've got books like here in this photo that you know you're not going to read anymore, fill up a box. If you've got holiday or seasonal decor that no longer serves your space or you're no longer interested in it, drop it in a donation bin. And then, of course, when the bin is full, it's a visual sign to say it's time for me to drop this off or have someone come and pick it up. So, making small, consistent edits of looking for things to donate all the time, that is more sustainable than having these occasional organizing marathons, right? Make it easy. So, you can have donation bins in your closet, in the laundry room, in the mudroom, in the garage, in the corner of your bedroom. And whenever the bin fills up, you schedule a donation drop off. So the easier it is for you to let things go, the less your home is going to become a storage unit for unused belongings. We don't want it to look like a landfill. We want our house to have the things that we want and use and love. Look, being organized, it's rarely about buying complicated systems, right? All you have to do is create simple, repeatable habits with some practical tools. And that's what this video is all about. So, three things. We have our catch-all basket for our daily clutter. We've got our trash can for unnecessary clutter. And we've got our donation bin, which is going to prevent long-term clutter. And those three things working together will keep your home functional, calmer, easier to maintain, even during busy times in your life. Small systems like this can really create big results. I hope you found this video helpful. I would love to hear your feedback on which of these things have helped you, or if you have other items that you think can really help prevent clutter. I would love to hear it in the comments below. And I encourage you to visit organizingmagic.com for more organizing resources, including our free e-newsletter and information about our monthly Zoom webinars, which are also free. And remember that new videos drop every Friday. So be in the know and click like and subscribe before you go so you never miss a single video. I'll see you next time.